Hey, again, the last few days have been up and down and highs and lows, and just this one is, and I'm not doing any of this to seek validation or people to feel sorry or anything like that. I am simply sharing my experiences through my awakening, through the experience that I'm doing through Courtney and Zero, and how life is lifing. And I'm not here to say that my life, everyone's got shit going on in their life, so I'm not here to say that it's any worse than anyone else's, but it's to all those people that don't believe in themselves and think that they have done all these things, that there's no possible way that they can choose themselves. How do you choose yourself? Because for so long I felt that I had so many responsibilities and things on me and coming to me and pulling and tugging me up. How in hell do I choose me? How is that even possible? But since my awakening, and since I've Source brought me to Courtney and Zero, it's changed so much for me. It has been the most empowering thing that I didn't know I needed. And I think we had a portal and it was just the most empowering thing. It's like a 15-hour transmission where all of us just bouncing and mooring, and it was just the most beautiful thing. And yesterday there was another call last night, which was sacred mirroring, and Courtney was sharing so much of her and realizations that she's experienced, and she was letting so much of that go so bravely and so honestly. And I think yesterday I was utterly exhausted. My human was just done, and my human was taking charge. And I will say that yesterday there was a time he was taking charge, especially by the time I was watching that transmission and that call was happening, and I would so wanted to be a part of it, and I was just exhausted. But I think I being there and listening, and especially when one of the Yasiga, I woke up to her speaking, and how what came through her on that transmission and the portal was just so powerful and activating. And but she'd realized so much, and it was like the dam was breaking, and she just got it, and she was alchemizing, and she was just, it just changed for her. And then I went and looked at all the other faces, and they're all smiling and so happy, and they're all getting it, and I just wasn't. So much came to me, and I knew in that moment I needed to come off that call, because me sitting there and crying, it's not what anyone wanted to hear. They wouldn't have judged me, they would have witnessed, but it wouldn't, I know it wouldn't have done me any good, because I was allowing my human and my ego to tell me how I wasn't doing a good enough job, because I wasn't as far as all of them, and because I wasn't having epiphany moments, because I wasn't able at this time to choose going beyond and lux. My human was trying to tell me that I'm behind. You know, you need to give up now. You know, you've come this far, you've done what you've done, it's time to give up. And my human was showing me very much where I could easily go back to my old timeline, my old relationship. And so I knew in that moment I had to step away. And that's why I left the call, because I was just exhausted. My human needed sleep. And so I accepted that. And this morning I woke up and still feeling pretty sad and overwhelmed. And then I started to try and listen to the transmissions. There was 4 that I wanted to listen to, and I listened to one, and I listened to the 3rd, and I went to go to listen to the 4th, and Sarah made it very clear that they wanted us to listen to the 15-hour call, which obviously I hadn't been in all of it, so I hadn't. And I thought, okay. And within, I'd say, I don't even think it was an hour, I resonated so deeply with each of the people that spoke. Sarah, Joe, Lauren, Ben, actually, and Ricky. Rick. I actually even journaled, and I put down, because I know what my brain's like, how each of them and how I resonate with each of them. And it just, and from there, me watching that, just that hour, the channeling and the things that came through to me was what I didn't know I needed. And I think I've battled my whole life with wanting to fit in. And it came to me very much in work dynamics and things, and I'd possibly go against my own beliefs to just simply fit in and to be a part of something and to feel that I'm validated in some way. And it's just realizing that you have to have that within yourself. You have to truly feel that within yourself, to choose yourself and love yourself. You have to do that, because if you don't, how do you expect anyone else to truly do that? And I've spent my whole life being attached to others, feeling the need to be so codependent on other people and needing their validation and confirmation that I'm good enough, when I know I am. And this is me simply letting it out. I have to let this out. And before, I would have been afraid and so embarrassed of crying. I don't care anymore. I was walking home, and the things that were coming, and the downloads and the channeling, and I just was crying. And before, I would have bottled that all up until I get home. You know, control yourself, don't cry. People are going to look at you, I don't care. People are going to look at me, they're going to look at me. I think yesterday, my whole life I've had issues with my body. I feel I've had body dysmorphia, and that's not been there for so long. And yesterday, it's so warm here, it's so beautiful, and I was like, I'm gonna get changed, and I put, and I wasn't feeling comfortable. I thought, women do, yeah, whatever. I was like, oh, goodness sake, I can't feel comfortable in anything. And finally I did, and I thought, oh yeah, this is me, I feel comfortable now. And then I caught a glance of how my arms looked, and straight away that feeling that I haven't had in so long came back, and it was just, oh. And I did actually change, and I thought, come on, get changed. You can't, people don't want to see your arm. To anyone else, I know it's ludicrous, but for someone that's struggled with their body and the way they look, and I know it's a big thing. And in that moment, I stood and I thought, what are you allowing? You're allowing your ego, you're letting it take over again. What are you doing? And I was so proud of myself. I got changed, and although I was thinking, oh God, and I went out and I was feeling a bit uncomfortable, it went. And I'm so proud that I alchemized that, I changed that. And to anyone else that might be little, but it's in those moments that it makes the biggest impact. And it's the biggest realizations, those tiny, weeny, micro moves, and those ways that you are like, oh my God, yeah, I can see this. And you can alchemize and change it and turn it into your power, because and I'm sharing this purely because I want others to know that no matter any walk of life, that you can, in those tiny ways, you can choose yourself. All of this, the transmissions, and it's intense. And I was, how am I going to find time? Because you make time. If you want it that badly, you'll do it. Like, my priorities before were literally like cleaning and constant cleaning, my obsession with that, and it was all about control. And that's just me. Tidy house, tidy mind. It's that just, and that's, I do believe that's part of me, because it does get to a point where I'm like, oh my God, I have to clean. I have to, and that's just me. But I know I've had to prioritize me, because I have so little time by myself. And it was my choice, and I love every single one of my children. I have 6 gorgeous, beautiful souls that I'd be lost without. 2 of my children, my eldest daughters, they're women. You know, they don't need me as much, but they still need me. I'm their mum. But my 4 younger children do need me. You know, my 15-year-old son, who I adore and worship, is battling OCD, and that is crippling him to the point of not wanting to. But I can see me being more present, and me being there, and me, no, this is how it's going to be. We are doing this, and being what he needs is helping him, and he's starting to thrive, and he's battling those demons that he's got, and that I'm so proud of him. And then I've got my twinnies, who are 7, who I adore, you know, my children I adore, who are 7, and they've got their own little battles, you know. All they've ever known is mummy and daddy together, and now they're having to learn that mummy and daddy are no longer together. And I'm trying to make that as painless as I can for them. And when they, especially one of my twins, he misses daddy, and he's constantly, I just want you to be together, mummy. And it's, you can only explain so much, because he's only 7, and one day he will understand. But trying to explain that, you know, sometimes mummies and daddies are better when they're not together. You know, that's best for them too. So I'm trying to be the best I can for them in this, as well as trying to choose myself. And then I have my youngest son, who's 4, and he's my Theodore, and we're waiting to be officially diagnosed, but we believe, you know, we know he's autistic, he's non-verbal, he's Pico, he's just got so many little things going on, and I'm his world. I'm his carer, you know, and he needs me. He actually, in a different way, because I regulate him. I am his safe place. Most mums are for most of their children, but especially for Theodore. He struggles to regulate his emotions, and the only other place that he feels comfortable is at nursery, and he's there for 3 hours. But other than that, they're with me, and I know that my priority is to them. But in that, as well as going through all the life and being everything that they need me to be, which I chose it to be that way, and I wouldn't have it any other way, I have to make time for myself too. And in those moments where, once I've dropped him off, and I don't drive, and that doesn't help, you know, I have very limited time. Once I've dropped my son off, I then have to go on the bus, and I drop my other twins off. Then I know I have, you know, 2 hours to channel, to be by myself, to just be me. And that's for me so sacred, that time, because I think our living situation, and I'm so grateful for where we are now, and I know that I was divinely plucked here for our own good. And since being here, especially my youngest son, who really struggles with change and struggles with, you know, so much, he's thriving. And I know, and I believe it's partly because I'm starting to choose myself too. I have released energies, and I've released so much. And I also do believe that, and it came to me very much, that autistic children and children on the spectrum, ADHD, and all these different things are classed as problems, and they're not normal. And I know that's changing, but they're classed that they have to fit in with us, when actually I think those children and those beings that have those things are more awakened than most, because they are so their senses are so heightened, and they can zone, and literally the way that they can shut out the outside world and just be completely focused on one thing, which makes them geniuses, really. Because, and that's where it came to me, I don't know, I can't even remember when, but when I was walking and it was channeling through, you know, how awakened those souls truly are, that they've been classed as not normal and there's something wrong with them, when actually their brains and their souls are a lot further awakened than many. And I've things I'm learning, and it's just, and the patience through Theodore. Like, I thought Theo was, because of everything I've been and all the things that I've done and all my past versions of me, I believed that I had him and he was karma for me, which is the most awful thing. But it was just from the start. He had terrible sleep regression, and he just didn't sleep, and I was battling. I believe that it was the start of my menopause journey, and my emotions were all over the place. My anxieties, and just everything. I felt like I was failing in every area, and I wasn't failing. I was just happy to get through a day. And that is not, I think my soul is so tired of feeling that. And I can change that. And I know I have the power to change that, because through my awakening, I have. Yes, I've been guided, so divinely guided by my angels and my guides, and I know that. And by my higher self. But it's really truly realizing the power that all of that holds. Everything that I've experienced, I chose it to be that way. I designed it. But how empowering. I can stand there and look and think, my God, I did go through all of that. Like, look where you were to now. And when I look like that and I see the growth in me and the way I've shifted and opened and allowed and let go of so much that I clung to so tightly, because I was so afraid of being alone. The thought of being with myself and my thoughts, I didn't want it. Which is where I can resonate with Courtney so deeply. Yes, in different, but in the same way of just feeling so afraid, but also at the same time so free. Like, I've never felt so free in my life, and someone could look and be like, look at you, you seem so sad. I'm not. I'm releasing all of this old energy and density that I've stored and kept within my vessel, because I haven't known how to release it. And this is all part of it, and it's all part of the awakening journey. And I have so much gratitude for Courtney and Zero, and for every soul that I have connected with through Chosen and Chosen VIP, and it's changed me, and it's continuously changing me. And even yesterday and this morning, when I realised that I've done that my whole life, I've just wanted to fit in. And again, I feel with the Beyond and Lux, and I see so many being able to, choosing themselves and being able to do it. And there's a part of me that's like, oh, and then my human's like, well, you can't do that, And it came to me so clearly this morning that when Chosen started, and then Courtney launched Chosen VIP, which is an extended, very intense, closer, less people. It was just, the most empowering, amazing thing that I've ever experienced, quite honestly. I just knew, and I just had this inner knowing that I was meant to be a part of it. And my human then stepped in like it likes to, and was saying, yeah, it's only because you want to fit in. You know, it's just because you want to get to this destination. You want to be, you know, you want to be ahead like all of them. And in this, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I'm learning that more and more. And I did struggle with that for the first few days, because I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to miss out. And it's, oh my God, I'm going to fall behind. And it was my human just telling me all the ways that I was going to miss out. And then I don't know what it was, but something switched. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm able to do Chosen. I'm going to completely immerse myself in that and just get the most and get everything and do all I can to enjoy and grow from that space, because that alone is life-changing. And I let it go. And it was this morning that I really realized that I did. I let it go and I surrendered, and I just trust if I was meant to be there, I would be there. And it was about 2 weeks after, and I think it was the Thursday or the Friday, Courtney was going to shut the doors for Chosen VIP. And Zero made it very clear to her that 2 other people were meant to be in that container. And I just knew, and I didn't know how. And I think it was Saturday, I had so much. I was going through stuff and processing stuff, and I just felt I'd got to a point in my journey where I couldn't just do it by myself. Like, I'd put so many barriers and things up because I didn't want to be hurt. I didn't want to have to rely on anyone else. I'd worked so hard at cutting cords with everywhere that I felt was home for me, that I'd know I didn't need anyone else. I can do this by myself. But it was that weekend I realised that yes, I could possibly do it all by myself, but I didn't want to. I wanted to have my soul family. I wanted to be truly understood and felt in the way that I've never had that before. And I know I just sat and I cried on my son's bed, and just, I don't want to be lonely anymore. I don't want to do life by myself. And it's not, I've got my children, and they can understand, especially my daughters. They listen, but they don't fully get it. I know my oldest daughter, she's like, Mum, I don't think you're crazy, but it blows my mind. She can't, and that's how I felt when my mum was going through things when she was, before. And I remember saying to her, I was in awe, and I didn't fully understand it, but I wasn't meant to. But to have people that you can say these things to, and them not look at you like, okay, you're weird, just to be understood and to be felt is just, it's priceless. You can't put a price on that. And I know that weekend, I think it was Saturday night, and I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to email them. I'm going to email Jeff and just ask if they're away. All they can do is say no, but at least I tried. There's no harm in trying. And I would have never done that before. And I did it. And then the next day they came back, and the excitement and the pull and just the knowing that, okay, yes, I'm going to have to make sacrifices and things will be a little bit, but I can do this. And that for me was just not sacrificing anything for my children, because obviously being able to buy food and survive is, we need to do that. But I knew that even if there were other things, I thought, well, I'd like to do that. That for me was just everything. And my daughter as well. And she was like, Mum, do it. Just do it. And I just knew. And the minute I accepted, it was just, I just felt at home. And it has been the most life-changing experience I've had. And I know, and that came to me this morning, because although my human is telling me that I want to be a part of it because I want to fit in, and so that people will validate me and they can accept me and all those other reasons, no. This is so far deeper, this feeling, this knowing that I'm meant to be in that vortex and that container and being beyond. I know I'm meant to be there, and I have to let go and surrender, because there's living proof right there that I let go and surrendered completely, before I was in Chosen VIP. And Source gave me away. They showed me a way for me to be able to be there. And I know, yes, I might not be in the luxe immersion, which I really, I'd love to. But then again, my human's like, well, what are you going to do with your children for 10 days? Well, they do have a dad. Obviously, my youngest, it's different with him. But I have to trust, and this is where this morning, watching even just an hour of that portal and those 15 hours of, oh my God, these incredible human beings just changed everything for me again. And I've alchemized so much that I'm realizing I'm doing it more and more without even realizing it. And so when my human is constantly trying to tell me of all the ways that I'm not doing it, it's realizing it's really quite easy that I can stand there and go, actually, you are no longer in charge. You can have your say and you can come up, I acknowledge that, but you're not willing. My soul is leading me and my journey now. And through that, I felt the empowerment that I felt through that and the release. And I know when I watch the replay of last night's call, I will get everything I need from that. If I'd joined last night, I wouldn't have. I was so lost in lack and something, Cindy, oh my gosh, has stuck with me about how I word. I've been thinking, no, I've been really intentional with how I speak, and it is, I want and I need. You're just telling the universe that you're still living in lack. You're still not believing that that's what you're in, and that's what, how do I say that? That it's not that you saying, I need this, I know I need to do this, and I know I want to do that. You're just putting out to the universe that you're still not believing that you're there, that there's still more work that you need to do to be able to achieve that when you're here. Choose it. Simple. Change the way your brain. And it's something Jessica said as well. And it was just, oh my God. And today I really heard that. Whereas yesterday I wasn't. None of what they were saying, it was just making me more upset and making me feel that I was behind. And it's realising that I'm not any more behind. It's my own journey. We've all on our own journeys. Don't compare. This comparison again coming in, comparing, and that is the very 3D matrix, isn't it? All the illusions of that like to keep us stuck, that we're not, and that we're living in lack, when actually, in fact, it's so friggin' easy. Humans make it so complicated that when you actually sit there and think about it, my God, I can choose this. I can choose to stop letting my human tell me ways that I can't do things. I can. It's as simple as me alchemizing and saying, okay, well, I accept what you're saying, but that's not how it is. And fully feeling and trusting that. And that is just, I'm just so in awe with everyone that I'm being able to connect with. And I love every single one of them for their own unique awesomeness. And I just love to love. I do. And through this, and even this morning, and it's only 9:30, I've alchemized and shifted things that would have taken me so much longer. And so when I actually look at that and I can take myself out of that and really look down and look at me and all that I've achieved already and how much I've alchemized and how much I've chosen myself, even in those tiny micro movements and ways, you're still choosing yourself. So those people that think, I can't do that, I haven't got enough time, I promise you, if you want it that bad and it is that pull, you will make those small micro moves for yourself. And it's not because you're being selfish or because that's just the most ludicrous thing. Because If we don't choose ourselves, how do we expect anyone else to? And the fact that I can see so much how I attach myself to people and things and places, and how detachment really truly is powerful. And when you can do that, you move so differently, you choose differently. It's just, I wanted to share me and a bit about me, because my living situation, we are in where we are. I mean, there are other families here, and it is a very, and my children are very lucky, because they were the three younger ones that are with me. They only ever knew being in a house share, and it was what it was, and we made the best of it, and we made our space now. But it did get to the point where it was just, it wasn't good, it wasn't healthy, and we've been moved somewhere that a lot of other people are like, oh my God, and that's what's lovely, because I am so grateful for where I've been moved. Like, it was 10 times better than where we were. My children are thriving. Yes, I know they miss their dad, but we're working through that. And that's a journey, step by step. I'm learning more and more, and I'm also learning there's other energies, and we're very close, it's a very small space, that there's other energies, and I have to take that on board as well. That the living situation that I'm in, that we're in, which I'm really grateful for, but I have got other energies, and I am learning to protect myself from them, because it's very easy. And even other children, and they're all, the way people are bringing their children up are different, and our children are all, and I'm strict to an extent, and that's me, whereas others aren't. And so it is balance and everything else. And I know that and when I think of it that way, I think, my God, I'm doing this. I am freaking powerful, in just, even if, about gifts and anything else and spirituality, me in myself, I'm powerful. I'm doing this. We're keeping this together. I'm allowing myself, I am protecting my energy from other people's energies, because there is a lot of negativity again around me that I feel, but I can also feel that me is changing. I can see the difference, and that in itself. And I've had conversations with someone, and I said how much lighter they seem. Obviously they don't understand, they're not awakened, and that's fine, but I can see the difference that I'm making by me being me, and my energy, and me sharing that with others in a healthy way is having an impact on her and her children. And that, my God, that's so powerful in itself, that me just being me, and me being able to share my energy in a healthy way is helping someone, and it's making their living experience here lighter. Because for a lot of families that have been moved out of their space, and they're not used to having to share with others, it's really hard being in one room and then sharing the rest of the property, that for them. And that's where I am so grateful again, because it's not been a big shock for my boys. They were being with me the whole time. We were all in the same room anyway. And if anything, here is a lot nicer. It's far nicer and more condensed, and it's just clean and safe. But in that, I'm also learning that I'm making a difference, even if I'm not impacting the way that others are. I'm doing that. In that, again, it's what Cindy said, it's in those small moments, even that one-to-one, and that's just come to me now. I'm making a difference. I've made a difference to them in a good way. It's been a positive, and I've made difference. And that in itself is so gives my heart, my soul joy, because I just want everyone to feel how I'm feeling. And yes, it is very up and down, and it is a roller coaster of emotions, as you've seen me up and down. I have my great days, and then my days where but it's all part of letting go and releasing, and the power within that. I'm realizing so much more. And when I hear others say, you're so powerful, I don't really, but I am. And the more I'm alchemizing and the more I'm realizing and going through this journey, I'm realizing that I'm seeking validation outside of myself less and less. Like needing Courtney and Zero to confirm things that I don't need to, because I know it already. And because I'm trusting and choosing myself more, I don't need to do that. And that's so empowering. And I want others to feel that, because it's so empowering. And they might be irrelevant to others, but for you, it's life-changing. Yeah, I hope that shares helped. It can help others realize that no matter what life is throwing at you right now, and whatever you feel, I can't choose myself, in those little ways, I promise you, you can. In the slightest ways, you can choose yourself. And the more you do that, the easier it becomes, because I'm learning that more and more. That me choosing myself isn't selfish for my children. It's the best possible thing for my children. And others, I see that. I'm witnessing it, and that's so, again, I will say it, no amount of money can give you that feeling. I'm not saying it doesn't help, because I know with what I know that I'm being pulled to do, but I'm trusting the universe, I'm trusting source, creation, creator, God, whoever you may believe in. I know that if it's meant for me, I'll be there, and if not, something better and higher is there for me. Yeah. I hope you all have a lovely Friday. It's so beautiful here. So I hope you all have a lovely day.